Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about 3 supernatural manga recommendations that I have. But before I get into the recommendations, I would like to clarify what I consider to be supernatural, because a lot of the time I find that people confuse supernatural and magic, at least in my eyes. If you look at shows like Fairy Tail and Black Clover, you'll know that they treat magic very much like a superpower, which is not an inherently bad thing. It's very good for action oriented shows because it gives a very steady power system that's very easy to write and develop and understand as well. But to me, supernatural is more than just having magic in your universe. I feel that the element of mystery and the element of dealing with unknown magic, unknown gods, unknown spirits really does make it supernatural. Whether it's the characters or the readers who just don't know entirely what you're dealing with. And so the manga recommendations that I will be giving will be about manga that have this feeling of dealing with the unknown. And with that out of the way, let's get on to manga number 1. This manga is a bit of a mouthful to say, so I'll only say its name once. Sanzennenme no Kami Taiou. Unlike the name of the manga, the plot of the manga is very cute and simple. A boy on his way to school is asked by a god to help us erase her godhood, for lack of a better word. And so the story is about their adventure in the world of the gods as they try to find a way to erase her godhood. Now, the story is very much a romance between the boy and the god. And I know what you're thinking. A creepy romance between a really old person and a really young person? Romance manga 101. But in this case, the god is shown to be mentally very young and physically is represented as a teenage girl. So there's no creepy anime romance here. Because honestly, I can't count how many times weird age gaps or very unhealthy age gaps have ruined a romance for me. I might even just make a whole video about it because you'll just be reading a romance, and then the fact that they're 28 and 17 just slaps you in the face. Anyway, not to digress from my initial points, despite the relationship being between a goddess and a teenage boy, it's very cute, and the story ceases to be solely about her removing her godhood, but at the same time, it progresses towards developing the relationship together. Because it's not like they immediately become girlfriend and boyfriend, it's just that it's hinted that they kind of like each other. So it's very satisfying to see their relationship grow. Now, the supernatural elements of the story come with them exploring the god's world. Now, they need to visit different shrines and different gods' domains. And so different rules apply in different domains. And so you get to really see physics bend, different creatures, different logic. And it's very nice to see. A lot of the time, supernatural borders on horror because it's very easy to make a horror story out of an unknown entity, an unknown monster, an unknown spirit. And this makes it very easy for the two genres to overlap. But with Sanzennenme, the story, while it does have some thrilling aspects, is just very much an exploration manga where you discover the world through the eyes of the boy because he doesn't know much about the world and the girl does. But the two contrast each other and create an interesting outlook on the world because the girl already knows about the stuff and so it doesn't really scare her. But then the boy, after noticing something, will just be like, what the heck? And that's exactly what the reader's reaction is. And I think it's very well done. About the art of the series, I generally don't like the really realistic anime art, but it just works for this series. I don't know why, it just does for me. And I don't really have any particular complaint about the art. And so if you're like me and you don't like the really realistic art, I would still ask you to give the series a chance and see if you like it, because I was very much pleasantly surprised when I was reading it. Anyways, that's enough about Sanzennenme. Now on to the second manga. The second manga is called Mononobe, koshoten, kaikitan. The story is about a bookshop owner who hunts demons. The demons are formed through a book of demons, where if a human reads the book, they will transform into a demon. Now, depending on the page of the book you read, you will transform into a different demon. And so the story is very much about the man trying to figure out who's the demon and which type of demon the person is. The manga is very much a mystery slash supernatural manga. And so if you're very much interested in that type of manga, I would highly recommend this, because it's like a monster of the week thing, because there are different demons for different arcs. So each arc is trying to find a different demon. And on top of that, there's some very interesting twists mixed into the stories that I find very, very entertaining. But at the same time, the twists are quite dark. And so, unlike Sanzennenme, this leans more towards the horror side of thriller. And this is very much reflected in the art, which is very horror like at times. But it still doesn't really make the series horror. It's just more like disturbing moments within the series. And so, if you're very much a fan of thriller and mystery, I think you like this show a lot, because there are a lot of very interesting and very dark twists that happen, and you don't really expect them to come, but they were very welcome, in my opinion. And so, I would highly recommend this series to anybody who is interested in it. And now, on to the third and final manga. This manga is called Fushi no sougishi. Now, in the universe of the manga, when somebody dies, their soul eventually decays and their corpse becomes a demon. And to stop the corpse from becoming a demon, an immortal undertaker is needed to perform a ceremony to purify the soul and return it to the great flow of reincarnation. Now, as their name suggests, the immortal undertakers live for very long, and they're different from normal humans in that they have magic, which helps them perform the soul purification ceremonies. Now, not all immortals are immortal undertakers. Immortal undertaker is very much an occupation that you choose to do and are trained to perform. Other immortals can choose to have other occupations. But what is important to us is that the MC is an immortal undertaker in training. He's actually half immortal and half human. Now, the supernatural aspects of the story come after he's separated from his class, and he's kinda left alone with the main female character to explore the world that they live in. Since his life as an immortal undertaker in training was actually fairly isolated, he does not know the real world properly. And so once he's separated, we get to explore this new world with the character, and we very much get to see things from his perspective, because both us as the reader and the main character himself is learning about how things work. And so as the story progresses, a lot of things about the universe and how things are run and just many mysteries are brought forth, and you really get to explore this world in its entirety. And I really enjoy the aspect of how things are revealed and how things happen. It doesn't feel too forced, it doesn't feel like it was just pulled out of their ass. And I really do enjoy the series. And it has a lot of dark twists, as most supernatural will. And I find the dark twists very good dark twists. because at first it very much gives a battle, action, fantasy, shonen type of vibe. But then when the really messed up stuff happens, you're like, hold on, damn, they really just did that. And so don't be put off by how it could look when it starts. It starts in a very shonen-ish way, but I feel like it very quickly separates itself from that. And so I would highly recommend the series because of that. That's it for my three supernatural manga recommendations. If you have any that you would like to suggest, please list them below. Please tell me your thoughts on the manga after you've checked them out. And finally, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, and goodbye.